What's up, everybody? It is Monday evening. It is 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. That must mean it's time for the Demons Behind Me radio show. As always, we're coming to you every Monday evening on www.wbuz95.com, and we're bringing you stories of hope, inspiration, motivation, and recovery. This week is no different. We have a very special guest. He's one of our brand ambassadors for our company. His name is Eric Swanson. Thankfully, he has served our country for many, many years, and we appreciate that. Appreciate all our military. We're very involved with veterans and whatnot. He served 13 years in the Marines, 7 years in the Army, spent some time in Iraq. So I can only imagine the kind of demons that you bring back from such an experience. And we're going to hear all about that when we come back from this commercial break. Stay with us. It's the Demons Behind Me radio show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Demons Behind Me radio show. I'm Paul Phillips. As always, I'm joined by my partners in crime, Mr. Jim Thielen, Mr. Christopher Richardson. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to be here.
Yep, same here. Another week in the books. So ready to talk to our new guest here and see what's going on in his life.
Fantastic. As I promised, we have Mr. Eric Swanson, who is a brand ambassador for our company. He's got a story to tell. And how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. I appreciate the invite.
No, well, we want to thank you not only for being a brand ambassador and doing so great. You're killing it. So much appreciated there. Glad you get the message and glad you spread the word. And also, definitely want to thank you for your service for our country. I mentioned that before we got you on the line here that you served some time in the military, and I went over there as a musician and played. So and that was not the Four Seasons Hotel by any stretch of the imagination. So I know what it's like to some extent. Not quite like you, but we hope to get into that with you.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But first of all, how'd you hear about Demons Behind Me?
I saw you guys on social media. Following yourself and others and stuff that started to post about it, and then I started to follow up on it, and I liked your guys' message. I saw the direction you guys were going for, because I see from each one of us have our own, like you guys put demon. It could be so many different facets, and I connected to what you guys were spreading, and it just kind of drew me to watch you guys and follow you guys more and more.
Yeah, that's something that we kind of try to stress on the show, and whenever we're out in events and whatnot, is everybody's got a demon. A lot of times people just go to addiction or whatnot. That seems to be the default one, but it's more to it than that. I mean, if you've been in an abusive relationship or whatever it is, it's more than just that.
Yep.
And also something that we deal with a lot is with veterans and that suffer from PTSD. We definitely help out K9 for Warriors, who also helps with veterans coming back over. And like I said, I know you served, and you went to Iraq, correct?
Yes, back in 2004. I was in Operation Iraqi Freedom 2.
Okay. Again, thank you for that. And I can only imagine. I only saw, a little bit of it, but I can only imagine what you go through on a day-to-day basis. I mean, anything you want to share about your time over there? Or?
I guess it's kind of weird. I come from a military family. Everybody's been in one of the wars. And so I've been in the Marine Corps 10 years to finally get to, serve in a combat environment. But it was special for myself to finally go, because I was a Marine Corps recruiter before that. I was recruiting in Alabama during September 11, 2001. So I'm in my office seeing the towers go down. So pretty much from that point forward, everyone I recruited went to Afghanistan and then to Iraq. So if I'm recruiting people for them, I should be there. So that helped tie me to that connection. And, it's a different experience. I think it was just something that, it's a weird part I enjoyed, just because you become so close with your brothers and sisters over there, and knowing that I recruited many people that were over there. So it was unique in that type of aspect, I guess.
Yeah, you said something interesting there, and that's something that I learned when I visited over there is you guys have a different mentality. Like you said, you wanted to go. You wanted to go fight.
Yeah.
You wanted to put your life on the line for this country. And I visited military hospitals over there. I've been to Walter Reed many times. And there would be people there that had lost both arms, both legs, lost an eye, whatever. And their main regret in life was that they couldn't go and fight anymore. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's just what.
Yeah, go ahead. That's it. That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just, I think the training all of us do in whatever branch of service is, you're always training for the mission to actually go do it or protect. So, yeah, when you don't get to do it, I guess in a sense you're feeling kind of empty on an aspect because you're being taught at such a level and being pushed to such a level of perfection that you hold yourself to no failure. You want to go and prove yourself or prove with your brothers, sisters that you're all there together and, you make 100% mission capable or, whatever the aspects is. I was with the KC-130's mechanics, so I was on the night shift and I was a supervisor on that. So we're doing all our night shift missions. So you're trying to make sure, that we want our aircraft to be in a position that the infantry needs you. You don't want to let nobody down that's in a different part of the country. So it felt good to be able to do that and perform it.
Well, let me ask. So with that mindset, let me ask you this: when the caca hits the fan, so to speak, is there no fear there? Is that just what you do? That's what you train to do. There's no fear, or is there definitely fear there?
I think it's a natural fear that's there, but it makes you go forward because you're not alone. You're there with everybody. You feel safer there than you do me riding my Harley down the street here in New York that I'm by myself or something. You had a close tightness that I don't know. I felt more protected over there than I do right here with all the random shootings and gang violence or whatever you might call back here in the States. That's how I looked at it.
That's an interesting outlook, and that kind of goes with the whole mantra of us too. The strength in numbers thing is like you can fight the enemy or fight the demon. When you got your brothers, you got your brotherhood. I think that's a cool way to look at it. Definitely so. I mean, I think I would be scared like a little baby, but that's why not everybody goes into the military.
Yeah,
right there with you, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I see on your Instagram, I see you're always hashtagging like PTSD and suicide awareness and things like that. So I don't know if that's something that pertains to yourself. I know it pertains to a lot of soldiers. I'm sure a lot of people that you know. But I mean, is that something that pertains to you personally?
That's I take it very personal with just I guess the broad overstroke of PTSD. But yeah, I have extreme anxiety, depression, a slight bipolar. Within suicide tendencies. And so I live in that type of world where I didn't want to talk about it for a long time. And, I don't have any family in New York. My family's on, motorcycle club I'm in and all that stuff. But, 99% of the time I'm home alone, even though I do work, that's when it hits the most as those things start to come out and stuff. So,
yeah.
And then I put cancer on there and stuff. And my brother's a recovering cancer patient and my nephew. So a lot of that stuff just touches me in a hole because the extreme guilt from, not being there for my brother going through chemo because I'm serving and you're getting pulled from two different ends. And do I let my brother down? Do I let my other brothers down in the military to go help him? So all those go down almost like a rabbit hole when you're alone. And that's where I always found myself.
Yeah. I mean, myself, I've suffered from depression and anxiety. Obviously, I've never been through the things that you've been through, but some people are just, just clinically that way, and I've suffered with it for years, which led me to go down the rabbit hole with alcohol and other things that you shouldn't do. And I agree 100%. If I'm sitting alone by myself, especially when I was going through my bad period and just beating myself up, if I'm sitting home alone and doing nothing, I have nothing to do with my hands or anything like that, that's when the demons start talking to me in my head. And I think Chester Bennington, God bless him, we lost him in Lincoln Park, but he said it best. He's like, that is a scary neighborhood up there in my head. That's a scary place to be alone. You don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I connect with that 100%,
Yeah.
my man. Yeah. So,
yeah, it's how I view it is I don't feel, even when I go out, right, it's the punishment I give myself alone that's more scary than anybody that's going to try to fight me in a bar or any of those things don't have any phase to me just because your own mind will just trick you to no end. And that's where it took a long time for me to start to be open, do years of therapy, just to realize it's okay to talk about it and stuff and help vent it out of your head instead of keeping it there.
Hey, Eric, it's Chris. So I've actually, in the last 2 years, my girlfriend struggles with anxiety and depression a little bit. And, I've just recently really learned on my own, I've had to do some research to kind of how I can help her, get through this, and at first it was really tough on us and because I personally don't struggle with those issues. But she gives me a call sometimes while she's driving, and she just needs me to talk to her. She said, just hearing your voice is what I need right now. I need you to help me, concentrate on the road because she gets sometimes where she says she just zones out and kind of loses it. And she just needs that extra push, and that's where it comes very important. And what I've learned over the last couple of years is just having that person to talk to you for that minute, just to get your breathing down, your anxiety down, get your mind off of where it was going is very big nowadays. And I think everybody needs to, if they have anybody they know that's dealing with anything like that, just being able to pick up that phone for that 5 minutes can be a world of a difference and change their life, from them going from one direction to another direction.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I need to hear a voice sometimes.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and it's good
like
that Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh no, it's kind of it's a lot of times, like I said, it's now that I feel a little bit more humble in myself to know my own shortcomings. I can feel when I might be going down a certain path, and that's when I try to call a buddy or something. I just need to hear a voice. It helps so much more than a text, and it just does wonders. Whether it be a good friend, I call my mom, anybody, just someone just to kind of let's talk about something different, and we just get on a different track. Call my dad, talk about football, just anything to not let myself keep going to a spot because I know where that leads, and I don't like it. So,
and that's great that you've come to that point, where you're able to not only realize that you need to reach out to somebody, but being able to talk about it as well, and having those people there to answer that phone call means the world. So I encourage everybody to set up that support system, have those people you call, have those people that are there for you.
Hey, Eric, it's Jim.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for your service, man. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate what you're doing for Demons Behind Me as a highly effective brand ambassador. Question that I have, you mentioned, that you struggle with anxiety, depression. Is that something you've struggled with your whole life, or is it something that has stemmed from your time in the military?
At this point, I couldn't tell you, but to me, it started to shine a lot more. Late 2000s is when it really kind of blossomed to understand, go through therapy to realize the different changes, the pressure I put on myself, where it just kind of, I think, exposed it more. Mm. And, to me, I didn't have the best marriages. So, different little things like that, I think, just added to something that's probably already been a low-lying thing there. I never thought of me. I was always a happy kid, played tons of sports, was enthusiastic to join the military, and I was always a star athlete. And then something changed, and I couldn't tell you. I talk to my mom all the time because it was hard for her to hear me when I retire honorably, and then you do the paperwork at VA, you turn it in, and then they code you as 100% disabled. it's kind of shocking to see that. And you're like, well, I don't feel broken. I don't look broken. Yeah. But, that's something twisted in there that I didn't even realize I was a part of. So.
Yeah. And, the game changes. And I think a lot of the things that you're mentioning is, you get to the close of one chapter and then starting a new chapter is scary sometimes when we only know the last chapter. So, just going through life changes. We go through these things, even from being an athlete to not being an athlete anymore. So, is there any specific story that you think would be helpful to share, Eric? Maybe something that you went through that was a really difficult thing that maybe somebody else can relate to?
I mean, the thing that kind of, I guess, would hit me, just that touched me from, I guess, my own feelings was as a recruiter, I've had to carry the casket of someone I recruited. Mm. And that burdened me a lot because I'm very social butterfly. I love recruiting duty. It just fit me perfect. Going to a college, meeting people, and I changed so many people that didn't want to join. Now they do want to join, and I shared passion with everyone, so there's not trying to trick nobody. And I had to carry a young female, and it didn't freak me out until I had to carry the casket. They wanted me to be part of it. And we're learning that aspect of emotion and sharing, not to close down, because I closed down real hard right there. Mm-hmm. And that's where I started to hold that in and then start to talk about that more as it got years away from it, and kind of go from that point, sharing my thoughts, ideas, guilt, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's probably just one aspect where you try to deal, especially with so many car wrecks. Anybody can die from different diseases. You're trying to understand that person that's in that position and feel so guilty, and trying to sit with them and understand them, let them vent when they want to vent. Don't push it out of them. Don't try to compare stories to them. Just let them come out and just know that you're there for them.
Yeah, that's kind of I think that would be kind of an interesting dichotomy with what you do as a recruiter, because you all go into the military with this pride for your country, and you get trained to do what you want to do, but then there's the reality of what could happen. The worst case scenario, unfortunately, you give your life honorably for this country, and it's kind of what you said. That must be, it's kind of like a high five, congratulations, you made it, you're in the military, and then they end up coming back, and you have to carry the casket. I could see some responsibility there of like, wow, I'm the one who did that. But you have to remember, also that they did that on their own will. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to go in. So I hope you don't carry that burden too much, No,
it was bad in the beginning, and then once the family and going through times, learning that more and more. But that initial shock that's where a lot of stuff just hurt me the most. I felt a lot of pain on that, and I just buried it for a long time. And then just, seeing on our airplanes in Iraq, we do something called angel flights. That's where they're picking up dead bodies to bring them to, like, Germany so they can come back to Walter Reed. And to see American, to go in there, you got to check the hydraulics, you got to do all that stuff at nighttime, and to see, in a sense, garbage bags with people in it. They're not with their flags yet and stuff like that. That was very sombering to see. It just, I don't know, you don't realize at the moment you're just in mission mode. It's years later you feel it. Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah, Eric, I'm sorry that you had to experience some of that stuff, man. That I can't even imagine. But a big reason for our show and for inviting guests like yourself on the show is, we want to share these difficult stories because, as you know, there's a lot of people that have probably gone through a very similar situation, and most importantly, we want to know what helps you to get through, because we want to share some of those best practices with the people that may not know those techniques.
Oh, yes. A lot of it started with, I think, myself just learning that it's okay to open up and start that process and having a good, good friends around me, good family. And just started to slowly accept that. And, like, I don't know if you mean like anything else I do besides talk about it. You mean more stuff like that, like extra stuff I do now?
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I see.
I've been doing,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I started doing those float tanks. If you guys ever saw that online or anything,
enlighten us.
Have you seen that? Oh, okay. It's the sensory deprivation tanks, where it's like meditation, but you're floating in the salt water. It's like 11 inches of water with about 800 pounds, 1,000 pounds of salt, Epsom salt in it, and you're just in a dark chamber tank, and it just takes away all the pressure off your joints, mind, and it's I don't do drugs. I'm back in the government again, so there's been no drugs in my life, but it just helps you meditate through a lot of stuff. Just concentrate on breathing, and you float for an hour, and it's amazing if you have them in your area to try. It takes just all the pressure off your body. It helps detox you and really lets you fight through your breathing and going through your meditation. There's nothing to disturb you, and it's been very therapeutic for myself.
Can you live in those? Is that possible to live? I want to go. Sign me up.
It was something that the hippies kind of keep them alive, but once I did it, I got hooked, and it's been very helpful for that stress. From I guess tightening your muscles all day if you are in a stressful situation, and learning. Not always therapy doesn't always help all the time because you want to talk about your story so much, but sometimes you just learning those different meditation techniques or something to have an outlet where it might not be alcohol or something. And that I'm trying to find a little bit more organic style stuff to do to keep a healthier mindset.
Hey, Eric, it's Chris. It's Chris again. So,
okay.
You keep mentioning meditation, and the one thing I know that a lot of people that have like minds are racing nonstop. It's hard to shut it down.
Yeah.
How have you been able to go to the meditation place and clear your mind and stop your brain from just running from thing to thing and it's causing to kind of make you anxious and anxiety wise, because I know that's one thing that a lot of people that have anxiety issues struggle with is they don't know how to shut the brain down to go to that peaceful place for that 2 minutes or 5 minute time.
It's hard at first. You're by yourself. There's no music, no noise, no light, and it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to kind of really learn it. And as you keep doing it, it's a practice you find yourself going right to as you get more relaxed each time. Because it's hard the first time through it, and you can zone out, you take a nap, and it just I found out I just didn't want to open the door because the doors pop open. It's nice. It's a very therapeutic area, but I didn't want to break the concentration, and I just forced myself to sit there for the 10 to 15 minutes of those racing thoughts until it just subsides. And it just took will to do that. You don't have a cell phone going by. You don't have TV by you. It's just you. And to me, that was very, I guess, a stepping stone I needed to take, where you just met it face on. That it was just me. I had to change my thought process. I'm alone doing it, and it just completely relaxation. That each time has been better and better.
Yeah, it sounds like it takes some practice.
Yeah, and there's no special skill to it. It's just something that you just have to do. And that's why I learned that. Fortunately, I was very nervous to even just be alone in there, but that was the first step. Was I'll make an appointment. It's very happy. It's very, I guess you'd say, hippish, hippie-ish type of area. Mm-hmm. But it's very comforting, and it just took a little bit to just make that first step for the appointment. And then, it felt very good. The euphoric feeling afterwards made me want to go back again.
Very good. So you mentioned therapy, you mentioned sensory deprivation. Eric, we're kind of winding down the show a little bit, but anything else that you wanted to share, maybe to somebody else that's going through something or some things that have been similar to what you go through and have been through?
What I felt positive about sharing is just it's okay to talk about it. You're not looked upon no less of a person where we all want to be a warrior, Viking. We're all in that mindset where it's okay to talk about something and you've if you have someone close, a good friend, girlfriend, wife, those things, they should be able to understand and help you, just let you vent your story and start to talk about it. That's what I've learned through the little pieces I've been trying to do.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Thank you, man. Again, speaking of that and talking about it, thank you for talking to us.
Okay.
We're going to be closing up the show here. I think that was a great episode. Again, thanks for your service.
Right.
Thanks for being a brand ambassador. And as always, we close with the song of the week. And I may have stalked your Instagram page a bit and saw that you shared one of my favorite bands today while you were working out. So we're going to go ahead and end the night with the song of the week. That is Throwdown, Fight or Die, one of my favorite bands. Check them out. Thank you, Mr. Eric, and take care,
Eric.
brother.
Thank you very much, fellas.
You got it,
we
my man.
appreciate you, man.
All right.